Hey, this is Jazz, and you're watching Jazz's Rockin Roadshow. I am here in Harrisonburg, Virginia, at the Virginia Quilt Museum. Seriously? A quilt museum, huh?
Yep.
Is that all there is in this town?
Pretty much.
Ugh. All right, well, listen. I was going to shoot an episode of the show here in Harrisonburg, Virginia. It is a lovely college town, but there's not really that much to do. So I'm thinking, let's get on a plane and go to San Diego instead. So up next, Jazz's Rockin Roadshow from San Diego, California. I made it to San Diego. We are on our way to next stop. What is the next stop? Rancho, Bernardo, I think. Anyway, here's a video from my friends in Dirty Lasso.
How my life might
It is a beautiful morning here in San Diego, or more specifically, Rancho Bernardo Inn is where I'm at. Listen to the birds. It's gorgeous. Much better place to do a show than Harrisonburg. No bad guys with Harrisonburg, but I think this is more fun. So anyways, our musical guest for this episode is the one and only Dirty Lasso. So let's check out Dirty Lasso.
Ride to my
Okay, we are headed to the veranda. And the reason we're going there is because they shot a scene with Catherine Zeta-Jones in the movie Traffic there. So, I don't know if it was, I think it was out this way. All right, so this is the veranda patio, apparently where they shot a scene for Traffic, the movie Traffic, with Catherine Zeta-Jones. Is it true? I don't know, I read it on the internet, so look it up. But a beautiful view here, golf course, lovely. So sometimes when I travel to these different places, you know, sometimes there's exciting things to do and sometimes it's kind of mellow. Like there's a lot of exciting things to do here. There's a spa, there's a golf course, there's a lot of pools, there's bars. But, you know, sometimes that doesn't translate well to Jazz's Rockin Roadshow. But I usually find something to do that's entertaining. And this episode is going to feature the fountains at Rancho Bernardo Inn. So, there are about 8 or 9 fountains here throughout the property. And the lady at the front desk gave me this lovely little booklet here. It tells all about them. So we're going to go fountain hunting. This is the Buena Vista Fountain. All right, 1 fountain down, 7 or 8 to go. This is the Fountain of Hospitality here at Rancho Bernardo Inn. The designer was from Mexico City, and there is a custom ritual of throwing a pineapple mint into the fountain in the spirit of hospitality. I'm not quite sure what a pineapple mint is, but yeah, there you have it. All right, this is the Granada Fountain, and it is special because it has 12 sides on it. Yeah, I read it from here. But check it out, the fountain ritual. Walk around the fountain until you find the plaque with your birth month on it. If your birth month falls on an angel, you will enjoy a year of tranquility. If your birthmark falls on a sun, you can look forward to a year of prosperity. Either way, I'm in good shape. All right, so, I see. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was born in May. Little trivia for you. And I got the sun, which means dun 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 dun, I can look forward to a year of prosperity. Woohoo! Here's a video.
need your sympathy. The sun still rises. The sun still rises. The sun is rising without you. The sun still rises. The sun still rises. The sun is rising without you.
This is the Fontana de Santiago. I probably butchered that, but whatever. Anyways, features statue of a lowland god and goddess with a lion who spits out this water. The lion's tamed, by the way. Spits out this water, creating tranquility for the fish and everything below. That one is pretty cool. All right, next up on our fountain tour is the Santiago lawn fountain. Who thought we'd be looking for fountains today? Not this guy. Hey, there's an adult-only pool, and nobody's in it. Look at these beautiful, whatever they are. Ooh, every once in a while you gotta stop, smell the flowers. So I originally was gonna go into San Diego to shoot a bunch of this episode. And you know what, I got here, I've just been kind of lazy. So my apologies. I'll do a San Diego episode another time. So this is the Rancho fountain. And if you toss a coin over your left shoulder and make a wish, it means that you'll return back to the ranch, theoretically. But I don't have any coins in my pocket, so I'll just have to make an effort to come back sometime. But there it is. Looks like it needs some maintenance. Next. This is the fountain of reflection. And the ritual for this one is to meditate and wish good things for other people and yourself. So, there you go. I wish you all good luck and peace. By the way, my room's right over there. I'll take you and show you that later. All right, this fountain here is the Dreams of Eternity fountain. And the ritual for this one is you toss a rose petal in it for a lifetime of love. So I'm gonna go have to find a rose petal. All right, we've got one more fountain to find, and it is down this way. This is the last fountain on our tour. This is the Tranquility Fountain here at the spa. And if you throw some lavender in there, that brings you relaxation. So I don't have any, so I guess I'm just not gonna relax. I'm just gonna be stressed. Par for the course. Check out the pool. Pretty freaking sweet, huh? Nice. I hope you enjoyed the tour of the fountains here at the Rancho Bernardo Inn. You never know what you're going to get on this show. I remember in Cheyenne we went looking at cowboy boot statues. So you just, you find whatever's available. This is my pad. I will show it to you. It may be a bit messy. Here it is. Living like a rock star. Woo! Living like a rock star. All right, I scored me a bicycle that is gonna take me around the neighborhood here. So let's go for a ride. It is a beautiful day for a bike ride, let me tell you. Gorgeous out here. So, you may or may not know this about me, but in 2016, I rode a bicycle across the country. Started in St. Augustine, Florida, and rode all the way by myself, self-contained, to San Diego, California, to the coast. And I have been wanting to do that again ever since. So one of these days I'm going to do that again. But here is a half-wheel video with some footage from that bike ride. I am heading back to Pittsburgh to meet up with my friends in Dirty Lasso. They're going to play some songs, do a little interview. So yeah, next stop, Pittsburgh, PA. Well, I made it on the plane. I'm heading back to Pittsburgh to meet up with my friends in Dirty Lasso. Cheers. All right, I am back in Pittsburgh with my dear friends. Dun, 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 dun. Dirty Lasso, thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, how y'all doing?
Good.
Good. Celebrating a brand new album that you brought me. Look, they brought me a brand new album. Sun Still Rises. Tell me about the album. Where did you guys record?
We recorded in an awesome studio, Rattle Clock Entertainment.
Uh-huh.
You might have heard of it, you know.
Yeah, I know some of them. So you guys did, let's see, my math is right, 7 tunes on this album.
Yes.
So this is the second album.
Second
Sun Still
album.
Rises. First album had 5, 6, 8
Eight.
songs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
One was
Okay.
a guitar solo.
Right on. Yeah. So you guys got the albums. Of course, you're on Spotify and all that. I noticed before you guys came over that you guys have been getting a lot of traction on playlists. Been added to a lot of playlists. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And you also have been played on DVE,
Yes.
WDVE. Congratulations on that. What's in the works for Dirty Lasso? What's
Well-
next?
Writing more music. Always writing new music.
Right on. What's the goals? I'm just really putting you on the spot right now.
No. Bring it on. The goals are to, keep perfecting the craft, keep singing from the heart, singing what we want to play about and sing about.
Maybe get on DVE one more time.
Yeah.
Or 2 more times.
Or 3.
Get those spins, get that hit. Yeah.
All right, so let me take you back a little bit. First off, Dirty Lasso. Where did the name come from? I don't know if I know this
Well, I
story.
don't know. A lot of people ask me if it's a punchline for a dirty joke, and I have to tell them no.
Can I tell you what I think it is?
Sure.
I could be wrong, but you were in the military, right?
Yes.
And you dealt with airplanes?
Yes.
So it has something to do with airplanes.
No.
Something to do with the military.
No.
Something to do with a dirty punchline.
No.
Damn it. All right, what's Dirty Lasso?
In solfege, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? Well, if you go down, it's do, ti, la, so. Dirty Lasso.
Wow, I never knew that. Now that's all of a sudden, that's the coolest name ever. Yeah, no, I always thought that it was because your first album had like the oil fields kind of, or that reminds, whatever that is, looks like oil fields,
Yeah.
right? So I just always assumed it was something to do with the military.
It is the public area in Afghanistan
Uh-huh.
on a base there. I don't want to get too much into detail. But
Right. The black helicopters will start circling, and I don't want that. I got enough problems with the law. No. All right, so where's this picture from?
That is actually, we used to have a little vacation place on Geneva on the lake.
Okay.
And true story, that is a picture of a sunset. But
It's a sunset, but it
Yeah.
says sun still rises.
Yep.
Yes.
And that is we just darkened the image and that's it. But it's just a nice bright picture off the coast of Lake Erie in Ohio.
So John is the professional photographer on that.
I did take that picture. There's a boat in that picture. You can't see it.
You are correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's there. Yep.
So I saw you guys play at a place. What was the place called? It was up
Camel
in
Club.
Camel Club. Yeah, that was a place I tried to sneak alcohol into. Ended
When
up
you say tried.
The jazz we all know and love.
Well, my buddy Sean and I did sneak alcohol in. We had to drink it first, but we got it in there. And I know you played Purples out in what's the name of that area?
Ford City?
Ford City, yeah.
Ford City.
Where else do you guys look to play?
Well, we look to play in the Pittsburgh area. We've also played, we're always trying to hit open mics.
Mhm.
And that's a good place to experiment with different sounds, different ideas, see how it goes over with the public. So, plus you don't have to take any big speakers or anything like
Right.
that. So, but yeah, we're always looking for festivals. We're always looking for things like that.
Excellent.
Back to the name of the band, we did do a quick little Urban Dictionary search just to make sure nothing came up.
However,
no, we're good.
you never looked at Instagram.
Yeah.
did you?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that, though.
Never mind. X-nay on the Dirty Lasso name.
You know, everybody in the audience is going to go on the internet right now. Google Dirty Lasso.
No, you can
Urban
Google it and get away with it, but there is one Instagram post from, 2002, and it's just a bunch of...
Ah,
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Dirty Lasso, I guess.
Oh, here's another story.
Okay, give me a
I don't
story.
know. Okay, I was in Guam, not too long ago.
Yeah, I think
And this
you-
this got some exposure for one of our songs, "Young Man's Delusion." I went to the local dance club. Now, bought her a drink, the dancer a drink, and we're talking, and she had to get up and do her set. So she's scrolling through the songs to play, and she asked me if I knew of any songs that would go over well. So I got to watch her perform while listening to our band play. And the 20, 30 other people also heard that, while watching this lady perform, and it was pretty neat.
That's like every rock band's dream.
Yeah.
Well,
that is Motley Crue.
well, it might not be your dream.
Yeah.
But that's every guy from a rock band from the 80s, that was their dream.
That's it. That is Motley Crue level. If you think about it, I mean.
Right on. You're kind of a three-piece, like, not to discredit the ladies,
That's okay.
because there's another lady that's not here, but like like you guys are the core,
Yes.
right? So sometimes you play shows as a three-piece.
Yes.
But now tonight we have a four-piece because we have a backup singer, tambourine, percussionist. But you also have a fifth person that plays keyboards, and she sings too sometimes, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't know what you're going to get. You might get the full band thing, or it's like...
We try to have one of the ladies with us to class us up a little bit, so we're not just by ourselves.
We absolutely
Yeah.
do
Right
that.
on.
Yeah.
Very welcome.
Well, you did class up the joint. Thank you.
I try.
So you're the main songwriter? Or do y'all write together? Or you're the main lyric writer?
Yes.
Okay. So Ed, guitar player, you do a lot of the...
We just kind of bounce ideas off each other. There's times me and Jeff will just sit there with acoustic guitars and play it and say, should we record that? And I'll say, no, I'll remember it next time, and then never again. So, but yeah, that's where a lot of them come from. Or Jeff will come up with an idea and he'll play it for us, and then John picks up on something and we just kind of start rolling with it from there. But he has to write all the lyrics.
Right.
But then sometimes we'll play around with a riff and a song, and it'll have to mature for 10 years before we come back to it and find what was missing 10 years ago with it. So that's the story of a lot of our songs.
We actually have a tune that we played the very first time we played an open stage 3-4 years ago, and I don't think we've ever played it again. And
It was one and done, right? One
no.
show and done.
you know what? We played it at the Camel Club show you were at, and a friend of mine, the drummer from another band, come up to me after the show. He said, I really dig that tune with the time change. I said, that was not intentional. And we have not played it since. But,
Running away.
yeah.
Running
All
away.
right. That's funny.
Yeah. True story.
I had a guy one time come up, like, that's the equivalent for a drummer, right? That wasn't trying to play different times. That's the equivalent of, I had a guy come up one time when I played guitar in this band. He comes up, he's like, dude, I love your guitar sound, right? Now, bad enough, like, it's starting out great, right? But, like, the whole band's with me, and I'm like, oh, cool, thanks, man. He goes, I don't know how you get your guitar to sound that thin. And I'm like, I don't know if he meant it that way or not, but man, I was like, man, I never heard the end of it, you know. It's done.
I
man,
felt
done.
that.
Yeah, right? It's like, my heart was just like, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so you played the open mic night you said about 4 years ago. So how long has the band been together, and how did the band start?
Well, Dirty Lasso was established 2019.
Right.
But we've been playing together steady,
Since you got back from the Navy.
2014.
Right.
Wow.
But then we were playing in bands in high school together.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had the same guitar teacher, Dave Manella.
Oh,
Legend.
yes.
And the first time I met Jeff, I went to Central Catholic, and he went to Penn Hills. But a girl I was dating went to Penn Hills, and she always told me about the Kearney brothers, Dave and Jeff. You know, Dave's real nice. Jeff, he's nice, but he's wild. So me and Holly, that's the girl I was dating, we're coming out of Manella's studio. And now keep in mind, Jeff shaved when he was in 5th grade. So by the time he's a teenager, he has the full beard, ZZ Top look. And this guy just comes walking down the hall. He's like, hey, what's up? Holly said, well, that's Jeff. I thought you knew him. I said, the freaking guy's 40 years old. She said, no, he's 16. That's the first time I met Jeff. And I think I knew John around the same time. I
Yeah,
don't remember
that
exactly how we
ballpark,
met or
yeah.
when, but
Yeah.
it's been a long time.
I think you were playing with those guys, and I actually took over to play bass for
Yeah.
you. You went,
Yeah.
you got like a real job for a while, I guess, and weren't there. So I didn't know how to play bass, but that didn't stop me. I just did it
Jump
anyway.
forward to 2019 and
Yeah.
doing it again.
I love how you said real job.
Yeah.
I won't take offense to that.
Yeah. Well, when you like, for being 16,
Oh,
17,
okay. All right.
yeah,
I'll let you
yeah,
go on it.
yeah.
What's your favorite song on the album? Or
Could it be old or new?
yeah, old or new?
Okay, I'll go both. Old,
Okay.
Loving You, new, Chocolate to the Dog.
Chocolate to the Dog. What's the favorite song to play out?
Favorite song for me to play is Low off the first album.
Okay.
I don't know why, it just is. And on the new album, I like the name is escaping me. You're going to have to do some editing on this, but it is
Here's the
Bad
song.
Decision.
Okay. Yeah,
like
that is on the album.
Yeah.
What so like you guys have all the playlists that you've been added on, but like when you're playing shit, like what's the fan favorite?
Big chocolate
Yeah.
or handbasket. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So check it out. They have a song called Chocolate to the Dog. Don't call me up saying they abuse animals because they don't.
Here's
That I know.
your PSA. Do not give chocolate to your dog.
But they have a song called Chocolate to the Dog that they didn't play tonight. So go see them live and yell out Chocolate to the Dog because that's a song you want to sing along to. So here's a question I want to finish up with. What do you all want the world to know about Dirty Lasso? If you could tell them one thing about your band, what would it be?
No matter what you hear, no matter what you see, just enjoy it and dance with us.
There you go. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, Dirty Lasso, thank you for joining me on Jazz's Rockin' Roadshow.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.